Psychobabble, oh, psychobabble. You're out in the sea, now it's fading to black. I threw it away, 'cause I don't want it back. I don't care when it's all psychobabble way.
And just like that, we're back. So, interesting morning I had. I think a lot of people that were around here from the beginning know all too well that this channel was dedicated to defending the innocent people that Ryan Upchurch and his crack squad cult were slandering, IRL attacking, after he decided to weaponize his influence. And the truth, no matter how much you don't like it, is never hate speech. The truth is just the truth. So, I never wavered from that, and I took a lot of shit. Anybody that showed up on my stream took a lot of shit. One person in particular that took a lot, Johnny Cashville. He was a target of the weaponization of Ryan Upchurch's influence. See, instead of Ryan using his influence to build a brand that would leave generational wealth behind, he decided to use his influence to just weaponize, just be a weapon. Anybody he had a beef with, no matter how small, no matter how unreal, because he was hallucinating from drugs, was a target. He doxed people. He slandered people. He tormented a grieving family for 4 years nonstop, which is an amazing thing to know, watching him run around making videos with his little daughter, trying to prove he's some kind of super dad after he's had multiple calls for domestic violence and his wife's ran off with the baby 10,000 times and both of them been laying around whacked out of their gourd, nobody watching the kid. Threats from Child Protective Services to take the child away. And if the truth is something you don't like, too bad. It's not hate speech. It's just the truth. So for somebody like Cashville to claim, wrongfully claim, that this channel is built on hate when it was the exact opposite. We defended innocent people from the hate, including him. You don't remember calling me bawling like a baby, Cashville? No exaggeration at all. He was literally bawling, snot coming out his nose, couldn't talk, couldn't catch his breath, bawling. Because Upchurch took away his royalties because he came on my podcast as a mod. I was nothing but gracious to Johnny Cashville. Defended him when nobody else would. Took his phone calls when he called and was just an ear for him to cry on. I listened to him slander every single person in Nashville that has anything to do with country rap. Cashville badmouthed them. He also badmouthed every single other channel, every single other person. And I'm not stupid. I know he badmouthed me when I wasn't around. I mean, we all know people like that, right? When they're around, they're always badmouthing other people. Well, you can bet your ass when you're not there, they're badmouthing you. It's just human behavior. And I'm not going to be stuck on this too long. I really want to talk more. I'm at a place right now where I feel very obligated to, if I can change one person's mind to stop slandering Turning Point USA, stop slandering Charlie Kirk's widow, stop causing this divide in the MAGA movement, holding on to this ridiculous, far-fetched Scooby-Doo conspiracy crap, then I'm going to do it. And if I change one mind, fine. So you guys can look forward. I'm going to probably have a regular scheduled upload, doing reaction videos to everybody trying to sell a conspiracy, making them look like complete fools, because none of the conspiracies around that can hold up to even the slightest bit of scrutiny. That's why these people won't debate anybody. Candace Owens would never go live and debate someone that disagrees with her, because they'd just be able to punch holes in everything. She's never offered any evidence. She's just made wild accusations and then moved on when they got debunked, like she never said them. So that's more so my focus today. Now, to ease Cashville's conscience, my last live stream, Cashville, did not mention anything to do with Ryan Upchurch. So where you got that from is beyond me, but you were lying. Oh, PBR uploaded a video. Trash mouth and Upchurch again. Why all the hate, man? But there was no talk of Upchurch on my last live stream. Not any. I don't know what you're on, dude. But telling the truth about what Upchurch did isn't slander. It isn't trash mouthing. It's just the truth. Ryan Upchurch took the influence that all of us helped him create, wasted the hard-earned money we gave him for his music and craft and merch, and then he weaponized it all. He took his loyal fans, and instead of feeding them great music, a great time, a day in the life with the Ryan Upchurch content that everybody was hungry for, he turned his fans, his dedicated fans, into shills for his weaponized influence. And he went way off the deep end with it to the point that he lost a $16 million defamation suit, Cashville. Let me play you a little quick, I'll play you a quick little clip here of Cashville telling lies.
It'd take a fucking loser motherfucker to be just that guy. I see he was back on his PBR last night talking about Ryan Upchurch again. But he can't help himself. He's upset.
I want you to timestamp any place in that video, the first video I've uploaded or went live in probably 3 months. I want you to timestamp where even Ryan Upchurch's name was even mentioned. So what are you doing there, Cashville? You just got nothing to say. Your head's empty. So you just make something up? Because at no point in that video was there any discussion about Ryan Upchurch. Not in the title, not in anything. It had nothing to do with Ryan Upchurch any way, shape, or form. I talked about Zanime for just a second. How, I kind of felt bad about screwing up her dad's obituary. That's it. The rest of it was about Charlie Kirk conspiracies. So you're just slobbering. You're just sitting there with your fat ass slobbering. Kind of the same way you slobbered the day you called me with snot running out your nose. Because Ryan cut your royalties off. And sorry, you got to be his bitch for the rest of your life because you're too lazy to do anything else for money. But the rest of us don't have to be his bitch, Cashville. The rest of us can tell the truth. And what is the truth? Anytime you want to defend yourself, you're welcome to come on and give it a try. What's the truth, Cashville? What's the truth? Ryan Upchurch weaponized his influence, weaponized his fan base, and he attacked you. And as the fans attacked you, and he took your royalties away. And there was one person who consistently defended you. One and one only. And that was me. And what kind of thanks did I get for that? Well, you sat in with some of the just filthiest scum, like sink, trap, drain, goo, taking 2 or 3 people's actual, real, very real medical records and blending them all together to make it look like I had AIDS and was being treated for AIDS. But it had my social security number on it, my fucking birth date on it. And you were a part of that. Fuck boy. And there's a handful of others that were too. They took up an arrest report and doctored it up to make it look like I was getting boned in the ass by some dude. All made up bullshit. You were a part of that. Did I attack you? Did I slander you? Did I make a bunch of videos showing everybody what a two-faced piece of shit you are? Did I release all the text messages I have of you? All the goddamn phone calls? No. I didn't say shit. So what are you doing with my name in your fat mouth telling lies today? Because you are a two-faced piece of shit. I mean, there's like crappy people, right? But you can tolerate them. There are one-uppers like Rusty Truck, okay? One-upper braggarts. You can tolerate them. There are just people that are just, maybe steal stuff. You can even tolerate them a little bit, but nobody wants to tolerate a two-faced backstabber. That's as low down and dirty as they get. People that talk out of both sides of their mouth. When you're sitting with me, all these other people are terrible. And then when you're sitting with them, I'm terrible. I mean, you don't even have any character, no convictions, no integrity. Nothing. And you're literally Ryan Upchurch's bitch for the rest of your goddamn life. You got nothing else going. You make videos criticizing everybody for doing what you do. And you cannot name the day that there was ever any hate on this channel. Even when I was taking shit, low down, dirty shit, my integrity stayed intact. That's something you can't ever say. None of you can. And I can tell you, right now, my enemies respect that. Let's listen to him slobber some more. Then we'll get on to something that matters. So for some of you that are just getting here, Cashville had the unmitigated gall to lie, saying that my last video was all about trash mouthing up church. I'm obsessed. I got a problem. There's nothing but hate over here, and this channel was built on hate. After this was the only refuge he had when the hate was turned on him.
Ryan Upchurch again. But he can't help himself. He's obsessed, bro. Like, this lame as fuck. This lame. You can't build a platform off of hate and expect it not to be just that, a platform full of hate. Say, I don't care who it's for. I don't care what that dude done.
Let me ask you something. Because I know you're too big of a coward to ever face it. Anybody in the chat right now, put a 1 in the chat if you think Ryan Upchurch's channel was about hate for the last 4 years. Because every fucking buddy knows it was. He slandered every single person that he ever in his whole life ever had any dealings with, including you. Whacked out on dope. He beat up a little kid. He got arrested for domestic violence. His wife left him. He got sued for $16 million. He had to settle out of court to Ickadmel. His algorithm is absolutely 100% destroyed. he can't bust 13,000 views on a video anymore, which means that's the most records he could ever sell, because that's the only contact people have is YouTube channel. He's too stupid to, he should have had a massive social media empire by now. And all he's got's a bunch of videos saying a girl's not real and everybody he ever worked with is trying to kill him. That's his channel now. That's it. You can't name a day when there was any hate on this channel towards anybody. It was defending the hate, defending the slander, standing up for the people that were a victim of him weaponizing his influence. I got nothing else to say to you, Cashville, but this. This is the last time. You get my fucking name out of your mouth. You keep it out of your fucking mouth. If you ever say my name again on a video anywhere, there will be a 2-hour video uploaded exposing you for everything you are. Everybody heard me tell him, right? I just want to be clear. Everybody heard me tell him, right? All he's got to do is never mention my name. That's it. That's not a big ask. That's not a big ask. I don't know why you would do that. Why would you just absolutely tell a lie? Make up a fucking lie out of thin air. Oh, PBR went on there last night. Running down Upchurch again. Man, he's obsessed. Upchurch was not mentioned in that whole fucking live stream. His name was nowhere. He wasn't mentioned. Nothing. So what was that about? Build a channel on hate. You can't. No. Defending hate. Actually. Defending hate. No, I wasn't building a platform, wasn't building a channel. If I wanted to have a YouTube channel, I would be actively doing YouTube videos. I got better things going on in my life. But sorry, man, I'm not going to stand by why somebody that I supported from day one took all the influence gifted to them and turned it into a fucking weapon. And the hardest thing, one of the hardest pills to swallow, is watching him now walking around with his daughter talking about unity. And he hasn't apologized to anyone. He hasn't apologized for nothing. You got to ask for forgiveness before you're just blindly given forgiveness. In the beginning, that's all the Rodney family wanted, was just an apology and the truth, the goddamn truth. He couldn't do it. Now, I know some of you out there think, because of the image Ryan tries to portray, that this lawsuit's no big deal. But let me be clear. If he does a concert, they will seize the proceeds and the equipment. They will show up with a sheriff. They'll take all the proceeds and seize all the equipment. If he releases an album, they will seize the royalties. If he sells a house, they will seize the proceeds. If he sells a car, they will seize the proceeds. He owes the Rodney family and a bunch of lawyers that aren't going to just lay down. Them lawyers are going to get their money. You see, he not only has to pay the Rodneys, he has to pay their legal fees. So he has to pay their lawyers and his lawyers and pay the $16 million judgment. And what that means is is they now have the power of the courts behind them. They can simply show up with the sheriff and take shit. So enough about that. I want to talk about man, some of you guys are lost. And if you would just, I got to say, if you could just find a way to scrutinize these conspiracies the way you scrutinize the actual evidence. I don't know why that camera's doing that. I let my boy borrow it, and it's done that ever since. He must have changed a setting or something. It like loses focus for a second, like it's trying to focus on something else. Anyway, if it keeps doing it, I'll just go to an avatar and turn it off. Anyway, where was I? You gotta, I mean, some of you will scrutinize every bit of evidence they have on Tyler Robinson, DNA and all that, right? You just scrutinize it. But then someone comes up with some harebrained conspiracy that's just out of this world and no scrutiny. So I want to touch on some of these popular conspiracies, poke some holes in them, and show you guys just how silly you're being believing this stuff. One of the most untruths, gross exaggerations, or misinformation, disinformation, incorrect info surrounding the Charlie Kirk murder is, I don't buy the government's official narrative. I don't buy the Fed slop, right? You've all heard it. It's not a federal case, kids. There's no official FBI narrative to buy. I don't know where that came from. The federal government does not investigate crimes for a state. The only time the FBI or the federal government would be involved in an investigation is if it was a government, a crime against the government, B, an international multi-state crime, like an organized ring, right? That then makes it a federal case, and it would go to federal court. The FBI has no jurisdiction in a state court unless they've been invited, and then at that point they can only be a witness. The FBI can't even bring charges against somebody in a state case. It has to be a federal case. So I'm confused what you guys are talking about, official government narrative. What are you talking about? The government's never been involved. 20 hours into this case, these are provable facts, by the way. Everything I'm going to say, any of it, if you don't believe, I'll just show you the proof. I'll show you the proof, because I'm not going to talk about things I don't know. I'm going to talk about things I do know. There's absolutely no federal involvement in this case. It's not a federal case. It's a state case for the state of Utah. All of the investigators that testified in this pretrial evidence preamble are Utah homicide detectives. They're not FBI. They're Utah homicide detectives. 20 hours into that murder, the Utah State Police Sergeant gave a preliminary summary of what they knew so far and showed a photo of Tyler Robinson standing in the stairwell where you go under the sidewalk to get into the amphitheater area. It was a still photo from a security camera. And they did that in hopes somebody would ID him, because at this point they didn't know who he was. Witnesses saw this person up there. Witnesses saw this person flee. Witnesses heard the rifle shot come from that area. They needed to identify this person. And it was Tyler Robinson's own parents that called the sheriff in that county in Utah and said, "That's our son." You see, his parents are a lot like me. I love my son, and I would stand beside him no matter what. But if he assassinated a Christian man, I'd turn him in. He'd have to face that consequence. And there's a lot of parents that way. And it was Tyler Robinson's parents who turned him in. Now, I want to remind you all, too, you refusing to believe something does not make it a lie. That's another thing that I'm seeing constantly. You refuse to believe something, so you call it a lie. And that's just you lying to yourself. So I don't know what you're talking about, government official narrative. There wasn't one. The FBI said, literally communicated with the Utah State homicide detectives to see if there was any evidence that would suggest this could be a federal case. Now, what did we just talk about? What makes it a federal case? Well, if there was an international ring or multi-state, right, then it can become a federal case. It's racketeering. It's organized, right? That can be a federal case. Well, about 26 hours in, they had the shooter in custody with a confession. And then the videos started pouring in. That's the other mistake you conspiracy people have just forgotten. Or when you think of the conspiracy, you're not thinking with a wide enough view to understand you have not seen a smidge of the evidence they have against him. And just the smidge that we've seen is damning. Just the smidge of evidence we've seen so far is damning. And it's the tip of the iceberg. You guys are slobbering about what evidence they have. You don't know what they have. You'll see it when the trial starts. But this is what I know. And I challenge any one of you that believe there was somebody other than Tyler Robinson shoot Charlie Kirk. Challenge any one of you. You can look at any one of the photos of the crowd that day. Let's pull one up for shits and giggles. Let's just have some fun doing this thing, and let's get down in the mud with it, because I want to change some minds today. Let me do a search here. What is that? I'm going to open a new tab, and let's do a search for audience the day Charlie Kirk was shot by Tyler Robinson and nobody else. Okay, so here's one. Ba-doom. Here's one. Oh, I like this one. This is a good one. Me like a Dillum. Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. All right. let's go here and let's say open image in new tab. Let's take a look at him. Oh, yeah, he's a little small, but we'll fix him. We don't want that. We don't need that. Let's look at this one. Now let's go here. Give me just a few more minutes. Let me gather up some here. Let's have some fun. Let's get real. Let's get totally real. You guys gotta, I gotta get some of you to think wider. Use your mind better. Use your mind better than what you've been using it. Let's take that one. That one. Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah. It's that one. Let's do those couple for now. Okay. That'll work. So we can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. We'll keep this one and this one for now. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and we'll share that. Share screen. And we want to do, well, hold on. Let me resize it first. Let me make it bigger. See if it's bigger. Okay. Now let's do this. Let's do this puppy now. All right. Here we go. Share screen. Boom. Share. Let's add it to the stream. Okay. So there's the audience the day Charlie was assassinated. What do you guys see? I see people standing elbow to elbow all the way up to where Charlie's at. Man, this thing's freaking out, isn't it? Look at that. For the life of me, I don't know what we cause that. I'll have to mess around with the camera settings. Something going on. Anyway, I see a lot of people standing elbow to elbow, right? So just keep that in your mind. Okay, you're talking about all these things that happened, except for the truth. Tyler Robinson on the rooftop of the Losi building with a rifle he had since he was 8 years old, grew up hunting with. There were only about 2 vantage points people could find. Listen, these aren't opinions. These are unmitigated facts, man. This is stuff you can go verify. You can go to Gray Hughes Investigates or Paramount Tactical's channel and go look at the videos, the live streams they have of the day they went to that campus and retraced his every step. And flew a drone and hovered it right in front of the security cameras so we could see what kind of cameras they were and see what they covered. That's how I knew 8 months ago when I made a live stream saying, yeah, they got him on video taking the shot. I based that on what we saw. That camera oversees that whole rooftop right where Tyler Robinson was. So I know damn well they've got it. There's not a doubt in my mind they have a video of him taking the shot. If I have a camera pointed, directly at that clock, you can't assume that I wouldn't have that clock on video if someone knocked it off the wall. Right? I want you to listen to the words coming out of my mouth real slow, especially you, Nola, because I'm worried about you, man. I think you need to be deprogrammed. You've been radicalized, and the things that you believe, Nola, are just not true. The things that you believe are very radical, and they're not true. Many of them are impossible. So I want you to listen very close to what I'm saying, because I'm not giving theories and wild assumptions. I'm just laying out some facts to you. Now, I want you to listen to me, Noah. Some very credible people went to the campus and they flew their drones up right next to the security cameras. So we could see what the camera could see. Does that make sense to everybody but Noah? Huh? I'm sure it does. We could see where the camera was aimed. We could also see the make and model of that camera. And it's a very high-end Amcrest camera that has 100 times digital zoom and a CMOS sensor, like the best technology you can get. So I know for absolute certain, beyond any shadow of any possible doubt, they have him taking the shot. Now, don't want to get too far off in the weeds with that. You see this crowd of people, they are standing elbow to elbow in there. Let's look at another one. Because it's the eyewitnesses in the audience all of you leave out of your conspiracies. You come up with these cockamamie conspiracies that doesn't take into consideration the 3,000 plus live audience that were standing clear up next to the crowd barrier right in front of Charlie. And it was a U-shaped barrier. It was shaped like a U. It surrounded him. And I'll show you another picture here. It surrounded him. And there were people literally holding on to that barrier all the way around it. And then the crowd was shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, clear back to the back of the amphitheater, about 40 yards in front of and just below the Losi Center building where Tyler Robinson laid down and took a shot. When Tyler Robinson took that shot that day, he shot right over their heads. And this is an important detail that you need to pay attention to. Now, let's share another one. Let's take a look at this other one. This one. I don't know. Maybe you guys will be able to see this. If not, we'll find another one. So, now this is what I'm trying to explain to you. Look how close those people are, Nola. Look how close they are. I want you to type into the screen, yes, PBR, I see that there are a lot of people very, very close to where Charlie is. Just go ahead and do it now. See, he's a coward. He can't. Can everybody else agree there are a lot of people very, very close to Charlie right there? Right? What do you think the distance is between this guy right here and Charlie? I'm guessing 6 feet. This guy, 6 feet maybe. All these people on the left, they were really close. All these people on the right, they're about 8 feet. So you got 6 feet right in the front, distance between the audience and Charlie. You got about 8 feet on the right side and about 8 or 9 feet on the left side. And then those people are wall to wall thick all the way to the back. Let's take a look at another photo real quick. Now, so we already know Noah's ignorant and he's trying to pretend none of this is real. This is all like AI stuff. That's the only person that was at that place that day was Charlie Kirk and the person that shot him that was not Tyler Robinson. Those were the only two people at that campus that whole day. Ain't that right, Noah? No one else was there. Just Charlie and this mystery person called they that shot him. Because we still don't know who they is. You guys been talking about they since what, 9 months now? 10 months? You've had 10 months to identify they, and you can't identify they. That's all we hear from you. They did this. They did that. They. Who the hell is they? Because they would have to be a real person. Nola can't tell you who they was. Who was they, Nola? Come on. I'm going to give you a chance. I want to believe your conspiracy. I want to believe you're right. Tell us who they is. Who's they? Show us Tyler. Well, okay. I'll do that. I've never seen somebody so stupid. How can you? No, I'm serious. How in God's name do you function from day to day? What? I mean, do you have like an adult person that like oversees your finances and stuff? I'm serious, because you'd be easy to take advantage of. I could probably clean you out. I could take everything you got on your last welfare check. I'd like taking candy from a baby. I could tell you some horse shit and have you believe it. You can't tell us who they is, Nola, and you've had 10 months to you keep touting a conspiracy, but you have no person. And for you to claim, show us Tyler, well, you refusing to believe high definition videos of his own and his own parents IDing him. And if you refuse to believe that, that doesn't mean it's not him, dude. It just means you're a dumbass. Let me ask you this, Nola. Do you believe it is true or untrue that Tyler Robinson's own parents ID'd him and rode with him to voluntarily surrender, where they handed the detective a letter that Tyler had written them, where he confessed to killing Charlie Kirk and was threatening to take himself out? Do you believe that that is true or not true? You don't get to do that. That's called the but what ism, right? Like, no, you're the one pushing a conspiracy, saying someone besides Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk, a person that you refer to as they. Who is that person? Let's not even talk about you denying Tyler Robinson. That's just insanity. That's just you being insane. You can't deny that Tyler Robinson was there. Jesus. Whew. I'm going to keep going because I'm going to change some minds. You're a lost cause. I want to tell you something right now, Noah. Just from this point forward, I don't even want to hear your opinion anymore. Because you're just, when you want to debate someone and you enter the debate refusing to acknowledge that water's wet and refusing to acknowledge that the earth is round, there's no point in debating you. It's a lost cause. You're just being silly and ridiculous and lying to yourself. If you really wanted to know who killed Charlie Kirk, you would be open to everything. And then you would look at the evidence and come to a conclusion. But you just rejecting anything to do with Tyler Robinson and then blindly accepting anything other than Tyler Robinson is you just being a dumbass. That's all that is. Let's take a look at another picture here. Let me find another one. Let me find another one. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that. Hold on. And let me see. I had to switch some stuff around. Okay. That, all right. Okay. Now we can do it. Study for the delay. All right. Let's take a look at these. Share screen. And let's do this one. Hold on. Lower this. Yeah, I'm going to put this in a different tab. Hold on. If you guys want to know how you make a picture bigger on StreamYards, what I've learned, instead of opening another tab on your screen, open a whole new version of Chrome. Okay. And then load your image in a tab and then reduce Chrome to where it barely fits around the image. And then when you share it, it'll be full screen. I'll show you that now. And let me pull it up. All right. So stuff I want you to notice. Okay. Number one, look at how packed in those people are, elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, on all three sides, going clear back towards the Losi Center. The Losi Center is behind these people right here. When Tyler Robinson shot, he shot over their heads. Okay. The vantage point that Tyler had was perfect. It really was. And I should be able to pull a video clip up here of some people that showed it so you can get a perspective of what a good vantage point it really was. He had a straight line of sight and he had a ledge. He had a ledge to rest the rifle on. And he had a straight line of sight. No obstruction. Okay. So let's go over what you see here. And what do you see? You see up here. See these people up here? Okay. These people right here are security. Like just standard security, from what I can gather. All these people over here, those are spectators. And there's another group like that to the left. So they had both sides of this observation deck open to the public. And the center section, you wasn't allowed to be on it. And they were just plain old campus security guards up there. Not police officers, not Charlie's detail, just, frumpy security guards for the campus. And you got this huge crowd here. So how many of you people have heard this silly conspiracy of something exploding on his body? For example, and I mentioned this one because it is the most absurd of them all. For a number of reasons, it is just, well, for one, it's physically impossible. It could not happen. It's humanly, physically impossible. For these reasons. One, as I have shown you, Charlie is surrounded on all three sides by a whole lot of people. I would dare bet that 30% of this audience has their cell phone out and they're recording. Because everybody wants to get that viral Charlie Kirk clip, that they can put on their social media. So, and if you look at the close-ups of the crowd, you will see so many people with their cell phone out recording. And one picture, I just sort of briefly counted, and there was like 20 some people holding their cell phone. So if I set a firecracker off up here on this roof, everybody here would know it. You doubt that, Nola? If I set a firecracker off, if I was standing where this security guard is right here, and I lit a firecracker, just a little firecracker that would never harm anybody, everyone there would notice. Now, I say this for a couple of reasons. One is it's surrounded by buildings. If you clap your hands in that amphitheater, it echoes. It's surrounded on four sides with buildings, and it's pretty good acoustically. So it's a safe argument to say if someone set a firecracker off, everybody would know somebody set a firecracker off, right? So to suggest that something exploded with enough force to kill somebody instantly, and not one of these people standing up close there on all three sides even noticed, but instead, they knee-jerk turned around and looked behind them. What were they looking at? If you watch a video, and I've got one, we're going to see it. If you watch a video of right when the shot happens, you see everybody turn and look back towards the Losi Center, including a guy that goes, "Hell yeah," a blonde dude. He turns, he's a blonde, scruffy looking dude with a beard, and he turns and he looks directly up at Tyler and goes, "Fuck yeah." And then starts going, "USA, USA." I know everybody's seen that guy. What was he looking at, Nola? What was that guy looking at? Who was he saying, "Fuck yeah," to? There was only one person on the other side of that mezzanine deck, and it was Tyler Robinson. He was the only one up there. We know this because we have a video that covers that entire rooftop, and he was the only one up there. And we can very clearly see, very, very, very clearly see it's him. Your problem, Nola, is you can't get it through your thick skull due to the birth defects of the inbreeding in your family. You can't get it through your thick skull that they cannot release evidence to the public until the jury has seen it, to keep the jury from being counting a misjury or compromising the integrity of the jury. We never release evidence, not just in this case, every case. So what are you talking about? You haven't seen it. Of course not. But you can safely assume, based on the snippets we've been shown, that there's a whole lot more video that'll be a whole lot more damning. Security cameras don't run for 3 seconds, Nola. So the 3-second security cam clip you've seen publicly is a snippet from an all day long security cam video from morning to night. And you've seen 10-second snippet from it just to ID him. The only reason the public saw that was hoping to ID him. And Nola, listen to me. Get this through your fucking head, dude. His parents are the ones that ID'd him. Now, I'm going to ask you one more time, and I want an answer. I'm booting you out of here. I want an answer, or I'm booting you from here, and you ain't ever coming back. Do you think Tyler Robinson's parents are lying when they said, "That's our son, here's a letter he wrote to us confessing," or, yeah, because you can't face the truth? All you got to do is just answer a simple question. You can't do it because it doesn't support your fucking Scooby-Doo episode. Because that's all you are. You're just a big clown running around trying to sell a cartoon. When you won't acknowledge water's wet, you're just a dumbass. Now, I'm going to ask you again, do you think Charlie Kirk's parents, or Tyler Robinson's parents, were lying when they called the police and said, "That is our son, that is our rifle, he's calling us, threatening to end himself, we are trying to get him to turn himself in"? Do you believe that that happened, or they're lying, or the police are lying? Which is it? I want an answer, or you're gone. You got 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. Well, I guess you don't ever want to be back, dude. Enjoy yourself. Because I'm not pissing with you no more. If you're just going to be a blockhead, just making a clown out of something so serious, being just a complete dipshit moron on something that is this serious, that has an effect on so many people, you're just a shit human being, dude. You're not worth the oxygen that you breathe. Listen, look at this. I don't know what Tyler's parents did. Do you realize how fucking retarded that is? Do you realize how retarded that is? That's you saying, well, water's not wet. The earth's not round. Oh, that fire over there, that's not hot. It won't burn you. Oh, why do you want to be such a retard? That is a really retarded thing to say. So you think the media's lying, the police are lying, Tyler Robinson's parents are lying, his roommate lover's lying, every single buddy's lying. But you believe a conspiracy that has no proof at all. Yeah, you aren't worth my time, man. You're out of here, dude. Don't ever come back. You're just trash, dude. You're just a trash human being. You don't take anything serious. It's all a big fucking game. Well, I ain't playing a game. I'm being serious. I want to change some minds on this. It's important to me. This matters. This is something, I know you're just a complete failed nobody in your life, Nola. I know you're a complete failed human being, right? Completely failed at everything in life. This is serious. This is serious. This matters. So I'm not going to let you come in here and smear your feces all over the wall like a mentally insane prisoner. Because that's what you're doing. You're just smearing your own feces all over your face and all over the little window on the cell door. That's what you're doing. I don't know what Tyler Robinson's parents said. How do you know Charlie Kirk was shot then? If you don't know, Tyler Robinson's parents ID'd him and rode with him to voluntary surrender and turned over a confession letter he wrote him, then you don't even know if Charlie Kirk was shot, because that is literally the first thing that was ever reported. That was literally the first thing that was ever reported. And here you are slobbering like that. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. You're just a waste human being. Anyway, got here. Right, exactly. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. But let me continue. So you got this big crowd here. Now that we got the mentally insane prisoner that was smearing his own feces all over the wall settled down. I don't know what Tyler Robinson's parents said. Jesus God. Anyway, there's no way something could have exploded with enough force to kill him instantly and all those people right up front not notice it. That is impossible to have happened. I'll challenge anybody on that. Anybody that wants to try to argue that. If you set off a firecracker, everybody there would know a firecracker went off. And I don't care what kind of conspiracies you believe in. An explosion sounds nothing like the crisp crack of a long rifle. They've got their own sound, and it's very distinct. And you go to any one of those cell phone videos that were recorded that day, and you can hear the very distinct sound of a rifle being fired. And I took it one step further. I almost have that video done. I hope to have it in final, stages to where I can produce it in the next couple of days. I just haven't had time. Things have been crazy around here. But I'm putting together a video to prove the direction of the shot using surround sound. Many of the iPhones that were recording that day automatically record in this simulated surround sound feature. And the Androids record in a very good split stereo left to right. So how's that work? You ask me why does that matter? If a person, let's say this person right here in this red shirt right here, was holding his iPhone up recording, okay? And let's say one of these people that's standing literally right at the barrier is also got their iPhone out and they're recording. I can show you, and I will, that the gun, the crisp crack of that rifle is not as loud up front as it is clear back here. It's louder on the people, all the people that are recording in the back, their videos. You can hear that gunshot extremely loud, extremely crisp. And then you listen to the cell phone videos that people uploaded that were standing up front, and it's not quite as loud. And I'll give you one step further. You can literally hear it go from front to back. Just like when you're watching a movie on your surround sound. You can literally hear the shot come from the back and move out through the front, and then you hear it echo off all the buildings. Any one of you that want, now the reason why I can't do it now, if I go grab one of these videos and try to play it, you know, they're going to nail the live stream. But I'm going to put it all in a video for you. I want you to know, you guys should know this about me by now. I don't carry on about things I don't know nothing about. I'm telling you, you can hear the direction of that shot and you can hear where it come from if you just pay attention and you look around for the really good recordings. Go yourself. If you don't believe me, I want you to go yourself right now and go find some of the videos that were recorded by people in the audience. Try to find some that were recorded by someone that was standing clear at the back, and then find one of someone recorded standing up front and listen to them with your stereo headphones on. And you'll hear exactly what I'm talking about. You can hear it. Let's read what's this slop. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can't argue with that. Yeah, whatever. No, I just mean to tell the truth. So if you can if you can debunk something I just said, you got the floor. Have at her. Let's hear it. Do you think Tyler Robinson's parents were lying when they said that they ID'd him from that photo and that they ID'd their rifle from that photo and that they drove with him to turn himself in and surrender? And at that time, they handed over a letter that Tyler wrote them confessing and threatening to end himself. Do you think that happened? Yes or no? Real simple question. Do you believe in a conspiracy? Now's the time to support your conspiracy. Do you think that happened or did not happen? Because it can only be a couple of things, right? Either the police are lying and Tyler Robinson's parents, for some reason, have never spoken up saying, hey, they're framing my son. They're lying. I never said that. We never helped turn him in. We never said that was our gun. Why don't we see the Robinsons doing that? I'm serious. Any of you that believe in the conspiracy, you owe an explanation for that. Why? If the police are lying about what Tyler Robinson's parents did and said, then you explain why they have never spoke up about it. Why wouldn't they be all over social media? The police are lying. They're framing our son. Help us. Why hasn't that happened? Why hasn't that happened? No, I'm asking one of you. Can one of you tell me why that hadn't happened? Well, it's because the police aren't lying. That is what they did. Tyler Robinson's parents, about 18 hours into the murder, identified him from a still shot photo of the security camera that sets in the tunnel stairway entering into the campus amphitheater. You've only seen a 10-second snippet of that security camera that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, put on your thinking cap, grind them fucking brain gears a little bit, see if you can get them cruising, and think for a minute. Would a security camera be recording nonstop all day long? Why, certainly it would. And you know, I've only seen a very grainy 10-second snippet. So I probably ought to wait till I see the whole rest of that video before I make conclusions. You see how that works? You get your brain moving, and all of a sudden, common sense shows up. All of a sudden, common sense shows right up. So, I want this to be a witness here. So far, I've asked the conspiracy believers to give me any evidence. None of them will. I've asked them to acknowledge whether or not they think Tyler Robinson's parents were lying when they said, we identified our son, we identified our rifle, he gave us a letter admitting it, threatening to delete himself, so we convinced him to turn himself in, and we, along with our neighbor who was a retired reserve police officer, rode with us, and where he voluntarily surrendered to the police. And at that time, we turned over the letter that he had written us. They won't even acknowledge the conspiracy believers who, no way, all this evidence against Tyler Robinson is fake. None of it's real. No. Discount. No. I don't accept. None of it's real. The DNA, the fingerprints, the videos, the confessions, none of that's real. I don't believe for a second he could do it. But I do believe some convoluted conspiracy that doesn't have a smidge of evidence. This is who we're dealing with. Their conspiracies even contradict their own beliefs. You have to have sense enough to know that if the police were lying about what Tyler's parents said and they were framing Tyler Robinson, his parents would be screaming, help us, they're framing our son. Why aren't they doing that? Because I know why they're not doing that. They're not doing that because their son confessed to them. They know that that was their rifle. They know that their son was obsessed with hating Charlie Kirk. The obsession with those two hating Charlie Kirk had gotten so bad that they quit bringing them to family functions together because everybody was sick of hearing their hatred for Charlie and Donald Trump. That's just a fact. And you have to know, every one of you have to know, Trans Tifa hated Charlie Kirk. They are very violent people. They have shot lots of people. They shot at the president. They've shot police officers. They breached the White House gates and set St. John's Church on fire. They shot up a whole church full of people. Every conservative speaker has to have security. Trans radicals threaten conservatives every day. And they threatened Charlie Kirk's life constantly. Constantly. That's just a fact. You can't deny any of that stuff. You can't deny that the left is very capable of committing violence. There doesn't have to be a conspiracy. They're willing to do it. So you got to use your head and say, what is the most likely thing to have happened? What's the most likely thing? What's the most common thing? Well, the most common thing is a far left loon committing an act of violence against a Christian or conservative. That is a very common thing. It has happened time and time and time and time and time again. What is the most likely thing to have happened? Well, based on the evidence, based on his own parents IDing him and convincing him to turn himself in, based on his own roommate IDing him and convincing him to turn himself in, based on the DNA on the screwdriver that was left, based on the DNA found on the black towel wrapped around the gun, based on the DNA found on the actual shell cartridge, spent shell cartridge in the gun, based on the fragmented bullet fragments from a Remington core-locked, copper-tip, soft, fragmental round made for small game, specifically designed to fragment. Removed those from his body, and they were a match to the 30-06 Remington 150 grain, core locked, copper coated, soft tip, fragmental ammo. And he had bullets for a 30-06 rifle engraved with derogatory statements often used by trans radicals towards Charlie Kirk. And there was one in the rifle. When they found it, spent shell cartridge in the rifle, engraved, "Catch this fascist." What did Trans Tifa call Charlie Kirk all the time? They found other Remington 150 grain, core locked, copper coated, soft tip, fragmental, small game ammo engraved in his car and in his apartment. And they found the tool he engraved the bullets with his DNA on it and his roommate's DNA on it. It's the evidence that let me hold on a sec here. Let me be right back. I gotta grab something to drink. And I'm going to go over a lot of you guys' comment, man, because I really do, man. I want to change some minds. I'm not going to give up on some of you. Nola's a wasted cause. He just wants to disagree because he has no life. He's bored. He's got nothing going on. So he just wants to disagree just to disagree. He knows full well the conspiracy shit don't make a lick of sense. He knows exactly what Tyler Robinson's parents said. Because if they didn't say it, his parents would be telling us we didn't say that. Right? Like if the police, let's say your son got arrested and he's being framed. And the police said, we talked to his parent, we talked to his mother. She said he was obsessed with the victim and that he confessed to her that he did kill the victim, and she convinced him to turn himself in. And so that comes over the news broadcast. Only you didn't say that and you didn't help him turn himself in. What would you do? Wouldn't you go straight to social media and say that's a lie? So why haven't we heard Tyler Robinson's parents speak up saying our son's being framed? That wasn't him in those photos. So for you guys to fucking continue to deny that that's Tyler Robinson in those videos is just blockhead nonsense. That's just you just wanting it to be a conspiracy. Because there ain't no way in hell his own parents said that's our son and it wasn't him. God damn. Come on, man. Come on. And if there was just that one piece of evidence, I could maybe understand. But there's way more. They've got evidence that links with other evidence. That's so solid, man. That would get a conviction in any murder case. I'll give you an example. Okay. Here's one example of evidence that solidifies other evidence. Okay. When Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger and we heard that very, very distinct crisp crack of a rifle, all these people standing there elbow to elbow heard that crisp crack of that rifle shot, and it echoed off those buildings. And they all knee-jerk looked up towards the Losi building, ducked down, ran forward. Including the famous guy the blonde-haired dude who threw his fist in the air and mouthed, "Hell yeah." Tyler Robinson immediately rolled the rifle up in a black towel. And everyone that saw the video in court said, yeah, you can see him wrap it in a towel too. He quickly wraps the rifle in a towel, and it's a black towel, and he holds it parallel to his right leg. And as he's running, he swings the rifle in unison with his right leg so it doesn't stick out. And it took him about 8 seconds from the time he pulled the trigger until his feet were on that awning that he stepped down on to jump on down to the ground. About 8 seconds transpired. He ran behind the elevator garage, looked, kind of peeked around the corner to see if there was anybody seeing him, and then he darted toward that left rear corner of the Losi Center, which is the lowest side because it's built into the side of a bank, a dirt bank, not a money bank. And there's awnings above the windows there. And he stood on that little awning, then jumped down. And he dropped the rifle when he jumped down. And you can very clearly see that. Now, some of you don't want to see it. Others have only watched shock-faced conspiracy thumbnail videos. That's all you watch. You won't ever go watch someone that's not pushing a conspiracy. How many people? I want you guys to be honest. Okay. I want you to be honest. Be honest with yourself, because this is important. Have you done that? Have you caught yourself only clicking on the conspiracy thumbnails and not being very interested in the non-conspiracy thumbnails? You're not the only one. You don't have to be embarrassed, but a lot of you have done that. And we know this for a couple of reasons. One, the conspiracy videos get a lot more views than the non-conspiracy videos. But a lot of you have very stupidly only digested content and information from conspiracy thumbnail channels. I mean, every day it's a shock-faced conspiracy thumbnail. For almost, 10 months? I guess it's 10 months now? Almost every day, Heavy Duty Country, Jesse on Fire, been making videos touting a new conspiracy and have yet to provide a lick of evidence. And Jesse on Fire's the worst because he's lazy. He doesn't even, at least Heavy Duty Country will invent conspiracies out of still photos. All Jesse on Fire does is look for other people's concocted conspiracies, and then he makes a video saying, "Oh man, I ran across this video and they're spot on." That's all. He's so lazy he don't even make his own shock face thumbnails. He just lets other channels do it. But how many of you have done that? And this is what I'm going to say to you. If you go to Candace Owens' channel, Ian Carroll's channel, Heavy Duty's Country, or Jesse on Fire, and you watch the video of Tyler running across the roof, climbing down on the awning, and then jumping down, you can't see the gun very good because they're showing you the absolute worst fucking version of that video you can find. And they got it zoomed out as far as it can be zoomed out. But if you watch the actual video from the person that recorded it, and it's on YouTube, that video's on YouTube. And I'll warn you now, if you use it, he'll strike you. But the guy that recording that you see of Tyler Robinson running across that roof and jumping down, there's a guy that uploaded that video. He's the one that recorded it. And then there's another copy recorded by a security camera that you can make the gun out, but you got to work to see it. But the one that was recorded on a cell phone, there ain't no question he's got that gun. You can see it. You can see it plain as day. So I know plenty of you are guilty of that. But you can very clearly see that gun. No question about it. You can see this crowd all turn around and look that way. I'll pull this video up. Okay. And let me I got to check some tabs here. Okay, so there's this one. Copy. Take me just a second to set this up, because I want you guys to be able to see it in its entirety. This is important, guys. I'm telling you. I know a lot of times you get caught up in the stuff that's going on online, and you know, it just all seems like a big game, and it's not that big. This is important. This slandering of Erica Kirk, this slandering of Turning Point USA is the conspiracy. That is the conspiracy. The Democrats wanted to divide MAGA. They want to destroy everything Charlie built. They want to reduce the amount of Turning Point USA chapters, and they want to turn everybody against Trump, and they want the Democrats back in power. And you guys are falling for it. You're falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. They're playing you like toys. And you're going to ask me, what proof do you have of that? When you're debating somebody with the Charlie Kirk stuff, you can say anything you want and it won't get removed. They're not even using the basic comment censoring. They're letting people go at each other and insult each other, and they want us divided. This is a plan. Candace Owens is working for them. Heavy Duty on Country is getting paid $7,000 for every video he makes pushing a conspiracy. That is why he makes a new conspiracy video every other fucking day. And there'll be proof of that when the time comes. He's going to get destroyed. And he's going to wish he never did what he did. Hold on, I'm still looking at some. I want to get a couple of these other. I want to set this video up for you. I want to get a couple of these other shots. Peace. But just consider this like a preamble to an up and coming video that's going to be pretty awesome. So there's that, and there's that, and there's that one. There's that one. Okay, let's go up here. Okay, here we go. So here's one. We're going to look at this one a little bit. Let me load it. All right, now let's see if we can find it in the share screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, share screen. Okay. Yep, there we go. Now, let me go here and let's go to all right. I wish it was bigger, but it's not. Wait a minute. Let's see if we can figure this out. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Okay.
There's Charlie over there, guys. I can't really see it because I'm like on the side. Yeah, I guess. What the fuck?
Right. Hold on. I'm going to do it on a different plan. I'm going to get it bigger. You guys need to see this. Okay, now it'll be big. Let me get it loaded up for you. So you'll be able to see it good now. Put that right there. There's screen. This is a bitch when you got 20 things open. There. Okay. Now, let me move this over just a touch to there. Okay, I want you to listen and I want you to watch the people. Now, you see back here, all these people up there. Okay. There's no way somebody could over from there could take the shot because everyone could see them. That thing's shaped the same way on the other side, and I'll show you. And that the day that And I'm serious, man. I want you guys to listen. Everything I'm saying to you is verified facts. Okay. I'm not just talking out my ass. On the live streams with Gray Hughes Investigates and Paramount Tactical, if you actually care about this case and you're honest with yourself, you will go watch those live streams of theirs. If you want to believe there's a conspiracy, then don't, and let the Democrats control you like a puppet till they get back in power. Let the Democrats use you as a tool to destroy everything Charlie worked for, his life's work. Let the Democrats use you as a tool to divide the MAGA movement. Let the Democrats use you as a tool to take back the House and impeach Donald Trump and open the border back up and run inflation up and the cost of housing. And okay. Or for a second, take life serious and literally go watch a non-conspiracy pushing person that's credible. Because if you watch those live streams of theirs where they spent 2 days at that campus, kids, 2 days. They retraced Robinson's every fucking step from where he parked his car both times. He parked twice. It's all on video. Okay. I want you to listen and watch the crowd's reaction.
There's Charlie over there, guys. I can't really see it because I'm like on the side. Yes.
He's under that white awning facing forward. Listen.
What the fuck?
What did you hear? Did you hear an explosion or did you hear the crack of a rifle? And I want you to be honest. At least one or two of you have the fucking courage to say what you heard. Did you hear a rifle and then echo off the building, or did you hear an explosion? All right, let's play it again. I'll let it play in its entirety. Let me run it back. Watch the crowd's reaction and listen. Listen. They're trying to tell you something on his body exploded. He's clear down here on the right in that awning down there. I want you to listen.
Yeah. There's Charlie over there, guys. I can't really see it because I'm like on the side. Yes.
Counseling for not counting gay violence.
What the fuck?
Okay. You ain't nobody can claim that's an explosion. Stop it. Just fucking stop it, man. And you can clearly hear that shot came from the left and echoed out to the right. If you have a stereo headphones on, that's what you just heard, which is exactly where Tyler Robinson was. And that is absolutely the unmistakable sound of a long rifle being fired. They have a sound all their own. What's really frustrating to me is the people that comment and they've never even been near a gun in their life. For those of you who think someone in the crowd like had a palm pistol and shot him, okay? That's another absurd, just impossible conspiracy. It couldn't have happened. And here's why. If I was standing right beside you and I fired a pistol, would you know it? Of course you would. And so would the other people all around me. You can't fire a pistol standing right next to a bunch of people and them not know that that's what you did. It smells. I mean, you guys understand a gunshot has a smell, right? A powder smell. You can smell when a gun's been fired. You can smell it. 2, a pistol sounds nothing like a rifle, but it's loud enough to make your fucking ears ring. And if you're standing right beside somebody that shoots a pistol, you're going to know damn well somebody beside you shot a pistol. So that's absurd. Just quit that. There's no way somebody in the crowd did anything. The reason why this was so easy for Tyler Robinson, it was just so easy. This is the thing that bothers me with these people. When you go, it's impossible to believe that he did it. Why? Why is it impossible to believe that he did it? I don't understand that. What's so hard to believe about a perfectly healthy 20-year-old with a gun he's had since he was 8 years old, taking 2 screws out of the stock? He's probably done it a million times, cleaning the gun, upgrading the stock. Maybe he put a metal stock on it for a while. Maybe he put the wood stock back on. I mean, people take the stocks off of guns all the time. It's 2 Phillips screws. And when I hear these people exaggerate, well, there's no way he would have been able to take that barrel off there. It would have messed the sights up. Not true, because he didn't take the barrel off. He didn't take the sight off. He took the stock off the metal body. The barrel and the scope never got touched. He shoved the stock down his pant leg. He shoved the gun body with barrel and scope down his back with his shirt on over it and his backpack on over that. There's no, what is so hard to believe about that? I don't understand why that's hard to believe. It's a lot easier to believe than some convoluted shit of an exploding thing and the hospital being in on it and the police being in on it and whoever they is. Right? So can one of you tell me why it's hard to believe? Because I don't understand why it's hard to believe. I see absolutely nothing unusual about that. I see nothing hard about that. It's a very common thing. He had to take 2 screws out. No, I just want to go over real simple. He had to drive his car from his house and cruise around looking for a spot to do it. So he pulls in the parking garage of the UVU campus, gets out, and walks around the campus. Not with the gun at this time. The gun is still in the car, and he's wearing shorts, a maroon T-shirt, and a ball cap, and he's Chuck Taylor tennis shoes with an oddly worn heel because he walks pigeon-toed. He takes 2 screws. Let me back up. So he goes into the parking garage. He goes out of the parking garage and walks around. Now, we know this for certain for a couple of reasons. One, the videos of him in that parking garage are very good, man. Don't run your mouth to me about the fucking little snippet that was released to the public by TMZ. I know those videos are good because I saw what kind of camera that is. And I know goddamn well that Amcrest CMOS chip, 100 times digital zoom security camera is a nice piece. Now, in the video I've got coming up, I'm going to prove that. 2, I just want you to know I've got 4 of them. That's what I have here on my house in my shop. And we used to have 2 of them on my brother's shop before he passed away. And we could look at them from anywhere in the world, anytime, any place, night or day. We could zoom. We could turn them back and forth, zoom in, zoom out, and they make amazing videos. Amazing videos. Go right now. Go right now. Go right now. Amcrest security cameras, 4K AI, face recognition. The motherfucker's got face recognition. This camera's so sophisticated, it will take a still photo of the person seen on the camera and face search it for you. And if it finds a match, it says, this person we saw with our camera eyeballs, and here's his name, here's his Facebook, blah, blah, blah. That's how good these cameras are. And I know that that's the camera they have there. I saw it. So I know for certain those videos in that parking garage, when the jury sees those and we finally get a scene, I think your jaws are going to hit the floor, because they're as good as they get. So they got him on video in the parking garage. You can see the license plate on his car. You can see the aftermarket chrome exhaust tips that he put on the car. And you can see the very unique wheels, because they're not really wheels. See, those Dodge Challengers, the base models, they come with like a kind of a ooey gooey factory aluminum wheel that looks kind of chintzy. His Challenger's not no rat, scat pack, or not. It's a base model V6. So he went and got hubcaps that looked like mag wheels and put on the car. So we know it's his car for those two reasons. We can see the license plate. We can see the aftermarket hubcaps. We can see the aftermarket exhaust tips that he put on. We can very clearly see it's him that gets out of the car. And then he is picked up by multiple different cameras as he makes his way around the campus, looking for a vantage point to do what he came there to do. He didn't know his way around that campus. He didn't know any of that stuff. That's what the exploring was all about. The bullshit Candace Owens was running her mouth about, saying, he jumped around like Spider-Man and he just knew this place by heart. That's all just gross exaggerations. He didn't jump around like Spider-Man. He walked up a set of steps. Literally. Just walked up a set of steps. Don't you see all these other people? Hold on. Okay. For those of you that still are just your heads, you're like Nola. Okay. You want it to be a conspiracy so bad that you're just refuse to admit that water's wet. And you just make an absolute unmitigated fool of yourself, saying something stupid like, I don't know what Tyler Robinson's parents said. Well, everybody else knows what they said, Nola, for some reason. Why don't you? Well, because you're a dipshit. That's why. Because I know you're still listening. You have no life. You've never accomplished anything. You have to live off of other people. You can't even provide for yourself. You probably don't even have a car or a driver's license. That's how stupid you are. And I'm not going to let you come in here and smear your own feces all over your face and all over the wall. This is a serious subject for adults. So Tyler Robinson is picked up by multiple different cameras as he makes his way around the campus, looking for a vantage point. And then at one point, he returns to the parking garage and he leaves in the car. You got the receipt where he parked, car again on camera. There's a camera where you come into the parking garage that saw him, where you can clearly see it's him in his car. And then you've got another video of him where he parked and got out of the car. And that's the one where you can really see him good. I mean, it's just perfect. And, the still shot is perfect. It blows my mind. And people look at, you can't tell it's in bullshit. Maybe don't watch a conspiracy channel show you that still shot. Maybe go look for that still shot on Gray Hughes's channel or Paramount Tactical, so you can see the real one. not the one they want you to believe is a conspiracy, because they're getting paid to do that. Because the conspiracy is the Democrats destroying Charlie Kirk's legacy, dividing MAGA, and taking back the House while causing civil unrest. That's the conspiracy, and you guys are the tools. They're using you as tools to accomplish this. And I wish you would stop letting them do that to you. That's why I'm wasting my time explaining common sense to you. So he's picked up by other cameras, and he makes his way back to his car, and he leaves. He's picked up by a few other cameras as he's leaving there, doorbell cams. I mean, I don't think you guys understand the amount of people that have doorbell cams. And oh, foolish are you to believe that you've seen every one of them that are out there. You haven't. When Gray Hughes investigates, spent 2 days at the campus like a real citizens journalist looking for the truth. He was talking to one of the people that live right there where they found the rifle. And that guy gave Gray Hughes a video never seen before. And it's Tyler Robson, just clear as day. So he drives around for a while. And when he comes back, he drives over in a neighborhood across the street, and he just parks along the street. The house that he parked in front of has a doorbell cam. So there's a doorbell cam video out there you haven't seen. I want you to listen to me. The house he parked in front of has a doorbell camera. All those are 4K. They only come in 4K. You can't get a low resolution doorbell camera. They're 1080p, 4K. Maybe the ones off of Temu are 1080p. The rest of them are 4K. Ring doorbell cameras are all 4K. That's the standard resolution. Go check now. Don't take my word for it. So any doorbell camera that picked up Tyler Robinson is 4K with digital zoom. Do you know what digital zoom is? The 4K cameras take the high resolution, high pixel count photo. And because the pixels are so small, because there's so many of them, you can zoom in the software. You know, you're not zooming the lens, you're zooming the software that the CMOS chip burnt the image to. And they're clear. It loses no clarity. Like when you zoom a lens, or when you zoom in on a lens camera, or you zoom in on an old low resolution video, it gets really grainy because the pixels get real big, right? Well, the Ring doorbell cameras don't do that. They're very, very clear. They're 4K and they're digital zoom. And you are a fool if you think you've seen all the videos. You haven't. I'll bet you 10 houses in just that cul-de-sac where he parked have Ring cameras. And when Gray Hughes was there, the man who owns that house gave Gray Hughes a video nobody had ever seen before. That's why you should go watch this stuff instead of watching fucking Heavy Duty Country. It wasn't Tyler because it's impossible to believe that a lone shooter would shoot Charlie Kirk. So therefore it's not Tyler, but it was this other lone shooter. Do you realize how stupid that sounds? If it's impossible to believe Charlie Kirk or Tyler Robinson did it, then why is it not impossible to believe another person did it? So contradictory, stupid. So Tyler Robinson's car, kids, sets right in front of a Ring doorbell camera the entire time. He walks to the campus, shoots Charlie, and runs back. Okay. Once he parked over there in that neighborhood, guess what else that camera would have captured that you haven't seen yet? But common sense tells you if the camera was fixed on his car, like all security cameras, I mean, I guess I don't know if you guys understand how security cameras work. Maybe you don't. They're always recording. Always. So if you see a 10-second clip, there's a 5-hour video to go with it. Mine does it in 4-hour chunks. My Amcrest. Every 4 hours, it starts a new recording. And that recording overlays for 10 seconds. So, Tyler Robinson's car sat in front of a nice modern doorbell camera. Guarantee it's 4K because they all are. And you can actually see him rustling around in the car, changing clothes and putting the gun stock down his pant leg. And then when he gets out of the car, he squats down by the door on the curb side because the driver's side of the car is on the curb side. He squats down. He puts the backpack on over the gun. Now you can't see that, but it's safe to assume he puts the backpack on over the body of the rifle, shoves the stock down his leg. But when he stands up and starts to walk, you can clearly see there's something huge bulging in his pant leg, and he can't bend his leg. He walks 3 blocks, and then he goes down the steps into the tunnel, and there's where the security camera still photo was taken from that Tyler Robinson's parents ID'd him. That was the one that TMZ put out to the public, and that was the one his parents ID'd him. That moment when he went down into that tunnel that goes under the sidewalk. Now, pay attention. These are just facts, kids. They're just facts. Stuff you can't deny. Just because you don't want to believe it doesn't mean it's not true. You got to use your common sense along with the evidence. And you got to measure in your mind what's the most likely thing to have happened here. You can very clearly see the stock of that gun. Now, if you're watching Heavy Duty Country's channel, you probably won't see it. He can't let you see that. If you're watching Candace Owens, you won't see it because she can't let you see that. But if you go over and watch Paramount Tactical or Gray Hughes Investigates, where they didn't fuck with the video at all, they just play it in its entirety, you can clearly, very, very clearly see the huge bulge in the outline of a gun stock. It is just blatantly obvious. He walks down through the tunnel, up the other side, and he walks up the sidewalk that's in front of the Losi Center. Now, you need to understand, there's other college kids milling about. You saw the crowd. So you know there's college kids everywhere with backpacks and tennis shoes. He didn't stick out at all. He blended right in. So they had like cordoned off the outside public access to the stairwell that takes you up onto that mezzanine observation deck, where many times when they have music bands play, kids go up there and watch the band. They had roped that off on the sidewalk side. But Tyler went in the building. He went right in the front doors of the goddamn building. And he went up to the second floor, up the steps inside the building, and then out those doors, right on the steps to lead up to the roof. And he's captured again on camera, and he can't bend his leg. He has to literally hold on to the handrail and take one step at a time. Now, conspiracy nuts. Why would he be limping the whole way there if that is not what's going on? I mean, you have to admit things that are just blatantly, obviously true, right? He walks fine. Then all of a sudden he don't have his shorts on anymore. He don't have a t-shirt on anymore. He's got long baggy pants on and a baggy shirt. Right? Why did he change clothes? What was that all about? Well, he had to conceal that weapon, right? You very clearly see he goes one step at a time, holding on to the rail because he can't bend his leg. He gets to the top and he simply walks, because where he's at, you guys have to see where that's at. That's why it's so important for you to go watch those drone videos that Gray Hughes and Paramount Tactical made. Go watch the damn things. You owe it to yourself to see everything you can see. Go watch them, damn it. Because you can clearly see that rooftop where he was at. The audience can't see that. If you're down on the ground down there where all those people are, you can't see that. You can't see it. Everywhere else, you can see. I don't know if you guys remember when there was some dude claiming there was a guy that popped up by a bush and shot him. Everyone standing in the audience can see that, and you can see it from the road. Nobody could have made a shot there. They would have been seen by everyone. Where Tyler Robinson's at, you can't see it. Except straight over on the corner of the next building over, which is not very far, there is a brand spanking new Amcrest camera pointing directly at that spot. It overlooks that whole roof, unobstructed. So this is how we know when the people left the courtroom Friday saying, boy, they showed us a video of him taking the shot, and boy, was it a clear, high resolution. We know that to be true for a couple of reasons. We know that the camera absolutely can see that rooftop. We know that the camera has 100 times digital zoom, and we know that it has a 4K CMOS chip in it. It's not a mirror camera. It's a fucking mirrorless CMOS type camera, man. The good stuff. It just is. You can't just deny these things. And we know that camera can overlook that whole rooftop. We just know it. It's not a wild assumption. It's just a matter of fact. So I want somebody to tell me what's so fucking hard to believe about that. I don't get it. I don't get why you think that's hard to believe. Given the fact that we have seen left-wing nuts and trans radicals commit acts of violence many, 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 many times. They literally just arrested a trans Tifa, lone trans Tifa, on his way to go shoot up a church in Vegas. Just goddamn, what, 8 days ago? It's not unusual at all. It is actually to be expected. Ask any conservative speaker, and they'll tell you the death threats they receive every time they go speak. Ask Steven Crowder, because Steven Crowder was the OG campus speaker. Do you know why he quit speaking at campuses? Because of the constant death threats. Some of them appeared to be very credible. So, we know these things. These aren't wild assumptions. These are things we know. And I would just like one of you that believe in there's some convoluted conspiracy, please explain to me why that's so impossible to believe that a perfectly healthy 20-year-old could take a rifle he's owned all his life, take 2 screws out of the stock, walk 3 blocks, walk up a set of steps, put the 2 screws back in, take aim, pull the trigger. What is so hard to believe about that? Because if you really research, instead of watching conspiracy channels, go watch a channel that went to that campus so you can see this vantage point yourself. And you will realize, yeah, that's why he did it right there. Nobody could see him. Now, the only way you could see him is if he stood up. I'm talking to the crowd down on the ground. And we see that in a couple of cell phone videos that were recorded that day. We see him stand up and run past the elevator garage. I know you've all seen that video. Well, you think that's the all of it, or you think there's a lot more? Well, you know, your brain would tell you, yeah, there's a lot more. People don't only record for a second. They record till there's nothing to record anymore. He goes up those steps and he lays down. There's a little riser wall. And this is important. I want you to pay attention to this. So he broke the gun down into 2 parts so that he could conceal it. Because someone walking with a rifle would get the cops called, right? So he broke the gun down into 2 pieces so he could conceal it. He walks over to campus. He goes up the steps. He's now on that observation deck that was closed off on the public sidewalk side. So he's the only one up there. Nobody else is there. Now there's a bunch of people on the one on the other side, and we can see them on the video. He lays down against this little riser wall because he knows, I think he knows that security camera can see him. I think he's got a pretty good idea. There's a camera pointing this direction. He lays down beside this riser wall and he puts the 2 screws back in the stock. Now, he didn't have to disturb the barrel. He didn't have to disturb the scope. Those stayed the same. All he did was remove the wooden stock from the back of the metal gun. Those are interchangeable. You can get stocks with a spring pad in them. You can get metal ones. You can get lightweight ones. You can get carbon fiber ones. You can get nice maple stained ones, right? They're meant to come off. They're meant to be messed with. And he puts the 2 screws back in it, kids. And then he literally crawls on his hands and knees over to the ledge, props the gun on the ledge, and aims that scope the way he's done 1,000,000 times before with that gun, and pulled the trigger. He had a very clear line of sight, no obstruction at all. He immediately rolls it in a towel, jumps up, and runs behind the elevator garage. We know this because multiple people recorded it on a cell phone. And then he jumps off down the ground. He drops it and he runs into the thicket of trees. Okay. Now his plan was, once he got into that thicket of trees where that trail was, he was going to take the gun back apart and repeat. Stuff it down his pant leg, put the barrel down his back, and walk to his car. Why do you think he didn't do that? I want some of you guys in chat to interact with this. Anyone in chat, when Tyler jumped off the roof with the rifle wrapped in a towel in one piece, and he ran across the field, down the little bank, across the street, and up this little trail in a thicket of trees where he was going to quickly change back into a different color shirt, put the stock back down his pant leg, tuck the barrel down his back, and walk the 2 or 3 blocks back to his car. Why do you think, one of you, just one of you, why do you think he had to leave the gun there and he didn't break it down? Anybody? Come on. No. He says, Twisted says hot barrel. Anybody else got any idea? I mean, come on, just throw something out there. Why do you think he didn't break it back in 2 pieces and repeat the same thing so he could take the gun with him back to his car and just leave the area? He forgot the screwdriver on the roof. He left the screwdriver on the roof. The screwdriver that has his DNA on it and his roommate's DNA on it. He forgot the screwdriver. You see what I'm saying about evidence that intertwines with other evidence? This is what you call an evidence trail. He had no tool to put the stock a bit or take the stock back off the gun. And there's no way he could walk those 3 blocks hotter than a firecracker. There had just been a shooting at the college. People were scrambling. People that at home that have scanners were probably listening to all the police activity and hearing the sirens and all this shit, right? So he has to just leave the gun. And he leaves it literally in the black towel, wrapped in the black towel, and he leaves it right there. There's a trail, and Gray Hughes literally walked up that trail on a live stream. And that's where he had to leave it because he couldn't be seen carrying that whole rifle all that way. And so he goes back to his car and he just aimlessly drives around. He's texting Lance Twiggs the whole time. And I know Candace Owens filled your head full of this shit that those texts are just unbelievable. Young people don't talk that way, but that's been proven wrong. He's somewhat on the spectrum, and they do overuse proper words. And in fact, a video of him talking to a police officer a year earlier when he got in a fender bender is him using vehicle and squad car. I mean, he does talk that way. He's a fucking knock-kneed nerd. And I've seen a lot of nerdy people that do that. They overuse big words, proper language. So that's why he had to leave the gun, guys. He left the damn screwdriver on the roof. And I'm sure that really plucked up his day, man, for a couple of reasons. One, his dad's already pressuring him for a picture of that rifle. Where's that rifle at, son? You send me a picture of it right now. That's the text he's getting from his dad. It's a family heirloom that means a lot to the family. And he don't want to leave it, man. And plus, that could get him caught, right? That rifle can be tied back to him and his family, and it's got a fucking empty shell in it with his engraving on it. So he has no choice. He has to leave it in that little thicket of woods. He goes back to his car and he just drives around aimlessly. He goes to a Dairy Queen, gets something to eat. He's seen on those cameras. He goes to a convenience store at one point. He's seen on that camera. And in the wee hours of the morning, around 2:00 a.m., pitch black dark, you see him come back on that same doorbell camera. He parks in the exact same spot to try to go get his rifle out of the woods. Now, we know this for a couple of reasons, because he's immediately texting Lance Twigg saying, I did this. I had the opportunity to do it, but there's a lot of squad cars in the area. I've got my vehicle parked a few blocks away, and just aimless chatter, right? As soon as I can get my rifle, and I'll be out of here and I'll be home. As soon as I can get my rifle, I just got to wait till all these cops leave the area. So he drives around aimlessly till it's 2 a.m. and he returns. And he walks over there to that thicket of trees, and the rifle's gone, and there's a bunch of evidence tape. So now he's in a state of panic because he knows they can tie that rifle to him. He knows he's busted. He knows the gig's up. And he immediately calls his parents. They have the call logs to prove it. And he is panicking, saying he wants to do away with himself. He rushes home. Pretty much same situation with his roommate. He's crying around saying he wished he hadn't done it. He knows he's going away for a long time. Blah, 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 blah. And when he left there, his parents believe when he left Lance Twiggs, he was threatening to do himself in then. That is why his parents urged him to surrender. They didn't want him to delete himself. He's got to be held accountable, but they didn't want him to kill himself. So they're begging him to turn himself in. They get a neighbor that was a reserve officer, very close to the family, and they're back and forth on the phone with him. And they finally convince him to meet up with them. And they meet up and they drive to the sheriff's office in the next county over. And he surrenders. And at that point, his parents give them the letter that he wrote confessing. And it's his handwriting, guys. There's only so many things you can fake in a conspiracy, right? At one point, you got to say, okay, wait a minute. Now, enough about that. Again, you're going to see a video that just lays all this out. I just got to have the time to finish production on it. It's about an hour long, but it's going to be pretty damning because I'm a fact person, man. I don't do speculation and innuendo. I've went through every cell phone video available on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Till I found the ones that are the best example, the ones that show the reality the best. And you're going to hear that gunshot come from behind the crowd and go right over their head. You're going to hear it go from right to left on some cell phone videos. You're going to hear it go from behind to forward on other videos. You're going to hear it really loud on cell phones at the back and not so loud on cell phones at the front. So they get him to turn himself in. End of story, man. Now, about your conspiracies. What are they? First, none of you have ever said who they is. Who the hell is they? Because you can't say this person that we have all this evidence on that is on trial for capital murder facing the death penalty. And we've got enough evidence to meet that bar. You can't then say, I don't believe that because I believe this other conspiracy, not at least be able to give a brief summary of how your conspiracy ended up with Charlie Kirk dead and Tyler Robinson on trial for murder. You have to be able to explain that. And it has to make some kind of sense, right? How can you wholeheartedly believe something that has no evidence and refuse to believe something that's got all kinds of evidence? I don't understand this. But here are some of your conspiracies. I've written some down. One of your conspiracies is something on his body exploded. That's perhaps the most laughable, absurd, immature, impossible thing. This is all based on one guy making a video where he narrates what's going on with people you can't see. So he wasn't there. He's looking at a video clip of one of those cell phone videos. You know, remember me telling you all these cell phone videos were recorded that day? Well, the dumbass that came up with this exploding device is literally using a cell phone someone recorded that day, right? And you see Charlie's team jump over the table, but then you can't see anything anymore. All you see is the table and their heads. And he's literally sitting there narrating what they're doing. Yeah, they're taking the squib off and they're getting rid of the explosive data and they're probably choking him right there. But there were people that could see that. There are eyewitnesses that saw them rendering first aid. I showed you that the crowd barrier, is a U-shaped barrier that covers three sides, and there were people right slap up against it, and they were elbow to elbow from there clear to the back. There is no way in hell something exploded and nobody there noticed it, but some guy on YouTube at home did. Do you realize how absurd that is? What's the second reason we know for certain nothing on him exploded? He was rushed to a hospital full of hospital people, ER trauma unit, resident neurosurgeon, 2 ER surgeons, multiple ER nurses, X-ray technician, MRI technician, CAT scan technician, lab technicians, hospital people, okay? A hospital, witnesses seeing him coming in, all that shit. 911 recordings of people calling in, all this shit. We know that he was taken to that hospital. You can't get a whole hospital to lie and be complicit in the murder, kids. Come on, man. Stop it. God damn it. Stop it. It's absurd, man. A lot of doctors dedicate their life to saving people. You want us to believe that none of the evidence against Tyler Robinson adds up, but you have no fucking evidence for something so incredibly absurd. What would that conversation have looked like? Let's say it's true that they used an exploding device and they rushed him to the hospital, and everybody that works at the hospital has been recruited to help take part in the murder of Charlie Kirk. So they're going to lie and tell the media and detectives that this explosion wound that didn't make a mark on a white t-shirt, this explosion wound where the device took a U-turn and changed direction from up to downward, and not one person standing right there looking directly at him, not one of the cell phones that were recording captured any of this. Nobody saw it but some guy from YouTube. How were these people at the hospital recruited? Let's pretend your conspiracy is possible. Even though it's not, let's pretend that it is. How would that have taken place? What would that conversation look like? What do you think? They got a hold of them one at a time. Hey, listen, man. We're going to blow Charlie Kirk's neck wide open. And what we need you to do when he gets here is tell everybody it's a gunshot wound. Okay, are you in? I mean, what you think they went down the line of everybody that works there, everybody that will be in the ER that day? You know, in ER trauma units, usually like 5 nurses, 2 surgeons, and a specialist. And in this case, it was a neurosurgeon. And these people have lived there all their life. They own homes. They got husbands and wives, children. They've got medical degrees and careers, 8 years of college, about $120,000 in fees. And you think that they would agree to be complicit in a murder and tell a monumental lie like that, and then produce fake gun fragments, for fuck's sake, and submit them to a court in a capital murder case with death penalty? You think it's possible for that to have happened? And if you do, I hope you don't have any young kids in the house, because you're coming unscrewed, man. You're losing your faculties. That's a crazy thing to believe. It's not possible. That could never happen. There's no way, no fucking way that could ever happen. And there isn't a speck of evidence of any kind anywhere that would suggest anything like that happened. The only evidence ever found points to one person. The most likely thing to have happened points to one person. The only person accused that actually threatened to kill Charlie is Tyler Robinson. So there's that. Conspiracy's done. You can't claim that conspiracy anymore. It is not fucking physically possible for that to have happened. My God, they have a resident neurosurgeon, the entire ER department, and x-rays. They got x-rays of the bullet fragments in his body. They've got CAT scan of the bullets in his body. They got MRI images of the bullets in his body, not only from the hospital, but from the state's examiner's office, the state medical examiner's office. You understand, they do not have coroners in the state of Utah. They have a medical examiner. He's like a physician. Do you know the difference between a coroner and a medical examiner? Because these are things I want you guys to understand. A coroner's elected. He doesn't need to have a medical degree. He just needs to get elected. A state's medical examiner is a physician. And a lot of states have stopped using autopsy and that shit, and they go to a medical examiner and let a medical examiner examine. They don't do a coroner anymore. They trust a doctor's opinion more than some elected person's opinion. So, no, there was no autopsy by a coroner, but there was a state medical examiner's investigation where they took MRI, they took CAT scan, they took X-ray, and then they surgically fucking removed the fragments from his goddamn body. And they identified them. They are and so those fragments were identified. They are Remington core. It's called a core locked, and it's CORE. You can look it up. CORE-LOKT. Core locked. Soft point copper coated. Now, you know what the copper coating's for? To help it fragment. That's why the copper's there. It is literally, it's 150 grain, and it's 30-06 Remington. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Just fucking look it up. Because I'm tired of all these gross exaggeration and lies about the 30-06. It's all bullshit. The most popular ammo sold for that rifle is that ammo, the Remington core locked 150 grain, soft tip, fragmenting bullet, meant for small game or varmint or target practice. It's so popular because it's cheap. The gross exaggeration about a 30-06 going below his head, it's just a bull. You're just fucking lying to yourself. I did this on another live stream. I guess I'm going to do it right now. Well, I'm just going to do this right now. Hold on one sec. Let me pull up another thumb tab here. Won't take long. Get rid of this one. Let me get rid of this one. Let me get rid of this one. But I'm tired of hearing this bullshit, gross exaggeration from people that have never in their life ever even been near a rifle. Talking about, oh, it would blow his head clear off, because they heard somebody else say it. They heard Heavy Duty Country say it. And then they saw Heavy Duty Country go get a fucking armor-piercing round and shoot a piece of meat. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, it literally hurts my heart to know that you guys are this gullible and this easily bamboozled. You understand that the Democrats, this is all a plan. And you guys have fallen into it like a fucking baby taking candy. Turning Point USA took the youth vote and took the campus, they monopoly away from the Democrats. So you can bet your ass the Democrat Party wants to ruin Turning Point's USA's reputation. They want to minimize the amount of chapters. What else do the Democrats want? Well, they want to divide us, because together we can outvote them anytime, any place, anywhere. So much so they have to cheat. So they have to divide us. Well, what's the best way to divide us? Well, this. And if you only knew, if you could just understand, Heavy Duty Country is being paid $7,000 for every single conspiracy thumbnail he posts. So is Ian Carroll. So is Jesse on Fire. So is Candace Owens. All of them. They're being paid. Literally. You watch and see. The blatant proof of that's going to come out sooner than you think. Stop watching those channels and go watch channels that aren't trying to sell you a conspiracy. Watch channels that just go over the facts wherever they look, wherever they go. The fairy tales about that rifle are fucking untrue. Okay, let's go to AI. Okay, and we're going to ask, let's go to Gemini first. We're going to do a bunch of them here. Let's do Grok, GTP, and all of them. So, let me pull up Grok. Okay, so let me get my share screen going here. Get rid of that. And let me go to my share screen. Share screen. Okay. Now, more Macadoo. Let's move all the way here. Or let's see, I can do that. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. This. I'll do this. Okay, I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna go over some of you guys' comments here in just a minute. Okay. In front of us is Grok 4. Grok 4 has like, I can't remember what they said it was, but it is pretty damn reliable. It's up there in the 90% range. Okay. So watch what I'm going to type in here. Let me pull this bad boy up. Okay. Let's do this. What do I do? And let's open Grok. Now, you can follow along. You can open Grok on your own computer and follow along. So let's do this. Let's do the first question. So let's ask Grok a question about the 30-06 that'll always blow someone's head clear off with no proof. And we're going to type something. God damn, I can't see for shit today. Okay. What did I do? What's going on here? Wants me to sign up? This is an image fucking one. Never mind. Stupid thing. Yeah, we don't want image. We want search. I had it under image. We want AI mode. Here we go. Now. Man, so fat fingered and I can't see in the dark. I think we got it. So I've typed, this is what I'm going to search for. You can do it on your computer right along with me if you actually care about the truth. If you want to be like Nolan and just smear your own feces all over your face and stuff, go ahead. But just keep your stupid opinions to yourself. Stop helping the Democrats. Stop it. Stop helping the Democrats believing these fairy tales. Stop destroying everything Charlie worked for with these goddamn fairy tales. Stop slandering his widow. His children are going to see this crap you're saying in just a short few years. Stop it. This is a big deal in your lifetime. Your lifetime. You guys that are 20 and 30 and below 40, this fucking matters. You fuck this up, you ain't going to have the America I grew up in. Your life's going to be way different. This is serious fucking stuff. Stop this nonsense, getting drunk on this conspiracy vomit. None of it is true. Everything you believe is a gross exaggeration. So here we go. I'm searching for, has a 30-06 rifle ever fragmented and remained in the victim's body? What the fuck does it say, conspiracy cucks? Well, it says, yes, a 30-06 Springfield bullet has frequently fragmented and remained inside a victim's body. Notice the word frequently. Is that part of the three-letter agencies and the official narrative? Or is it just a goddamn fact of reality? Is it just a fact of reality? Well, it is. It is a fact of reality. So it says, wow, the 30-06 is a high-powered round designed for significant penetration. Severe fragmentation and retention happens under specific terminal ballistic conditions, impacting dense bone. Impacting dense bone. Isn't that exactly what the doctors said happened? When a high velocity 30-06 bullet traveling between 2,400 miles per hour or feet per second or 3,400 feet per second strikes a dense bone like a femur, pelvis, or spine, the immense kinetic energy causes the bullet to rapidly deform and completely shatter. You can read the rest of it yourself if you care about the goddamn truth. Stop this gross exaggeration with this 30-06 nonsense. It is not true. That ammo is designed specifically to do that, and it happens frequently. Anybody that's a truth teller that hunts will tell you, yeah, you got to pick the fragments out of the meat. Okay, let's ask it another question, okay? Just to drive this shit into the heart. I mean, because there might be some more other Nolans out there, and they've got so much of their own feces smeared all over their own face that you got to pound it through. Let's try this one. Has a person ever survived after, damn, I'm so fat fingered, after being shot with a 30-06 and had fragments left inside them. So what's the question we're going to ask this time? We're going to say, has a person ever survived after being shot with a 30-06 and had fragments left inside them? Now what? Now what? See, Nola would go, oh, that don't matter. That one time Scooby-Doo. He'd be like Boomhauer. You sound like Boomhauer. That one time, maybe I was Scooby-Doo. That didn't happen because I don't even know what the parents said. Yes, people have survived being shot with a 30-06 rifle and lived with retained bullet fragments inside of them. My father was one of those people. While a 30-06 is a high-powered caliber that is often fatal, it strikes a vital organ, survival is entirely possible under the specific and anatomical and medical conditions. Large-scale clinical trauma data tracks thousands of non-fatal velocity gunshot survivors who carry retained bullet fragments for the rest of their lives. And look, it'll even give you a link where you can go see the cases and names and shit. Now, you guys can go on and research all of this yourself if you actually care about the goddamn truth. Or you can listen to Heavy Duty Country tell you what happened. You can listen to Jesse on Fire tell you that a 30-06 would always blow a person's head off. Or you can just digest the goddamn truth on something. This is what I can't understand. You younger people, this is going to have an impact on your future. It's going to have an impact on your children's future. You have got to stop playing games with this fucking conspiracy that the Democrats have pulled on you, turning you into their bitches, shredding Turning Point USA, shredding the MAGA movement, shredding Trump. My God, man, you gave them everything they wanted. You fell for it like toddlers. And everything you believe is proven wrong right here. Almost every one of you have said you refuse to believe that it happened because 30-06. Well, that's just been proven wrong. And if you are so dumb that you want to ignore facts to support a conspiracy, then you deserve to live with Democrats running things, paying way too much for rent, all kinds of inflation, a two-tier justice system where they can do any fucking thing to us. And if we do one thing back, we're going to jail, like they did to the January 6 people who walked through and took a couple pictures. Versus Democrat violence where they took over a state house, burned down a police station, take over whole fucking city blocks. Notice one of them bastards went to jail. What are you doing? Stop this. There's only one person that shot Charlie Kirk, and it was Tyler Robinson. We know this due to all the goddamn evidence. And everything you believe that makes it impossible in your brain has just been debunked. Take these same questions, put them in any search engine, anywhere, Grok, ChatGPT, Gemini, Google, Yahoo, MSN, Twitter, anywhere. You're going to find out it is very common. Very, 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 very common for a 30-06 round to fragment, because the fragmental rounds are the most popular. Those armor-piercing rounds are damned expensive, and they'll destroy your meat. So people don't hunt with them. A lot of people don't even understand what a 30-06 is. Do you even know what it is? The 30 stands for millimeter. Let me pull this away for a second, because honestly, I want to educate some of you guys. And okay. The 30-06. The 30 stands for the length of the shell cartridge. It's 30 millimeters. Okay. The 06, you know what that stands for? (1906), when the gun was introduced and they used it in the first wars. Do you understand how many soldiers came home with bullet fragments in them? And it just blows my mind. You know, I've said this before, and people are like laughing and chuckling in the chat like they just know everything. Challenge any one of you to disprove what I'm saying. That gun was used in World War II by both us and the enemy. Now, just because you call it a different name, this is what I don't understand. You guys don't get it. The 30 stands for the length of the cartridge. And so why does that matter? Well, you can put a lot of powder in there. And then you got the tip of the bullet, the tip right here. And that tip can be a hollow, very soft with a copper. It's like pot metal and copper mixed together. And it's hollow and it's real soft. You can literally take a pair of pliers and pinch it and put a dent in it with your pliers. That's how soft it is. You ever take like a lead fishing weight? That lead, take a pair of pliers and squeeze it and watch your pliers teeth make a mark in it, right? Same thing with that 30-06 in that varmint round. Now, the armor piercing, no, it's fucking carbide coated steel. That would rip a hole through your fucking neck and leave an exit wound and maybe take your head off. Yeah, it would. That ain't what he was shot with, though. He was shot with a Remington core lock, 150 grain, soft tip, copper infused fucking shell. The 30 that stands for the cartridge, where the gunpowder goes, that's the 30. That doesn't always have to be full. That doesn't always have to be full. If you pack your own ammo and you just want to do target practice, there's a lot of guys that'll just put that halfway full. You don't have to have it clear full. You just put the powder in there, shove a little cotton in behind it. That's what the 30-06 is, and it was literally a war rifle used in the war. Thousands and thousands of men were shot with that. Now, understand, it wasn't the exact one, but it's the same bullet, the same size barrel. So what's different? Nothing. If I have a metal tube that's the exact same size as a marble, and I put a firecracker in there and drop a marble in, when the firecracker goes off, it'll shoot the marble out, right? It would shoot that marble the same across 10 different brands of steel tube. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. That I can't remember what, might have been M16, maybe not. M12, I'd have to look it up again. It's been so long. But you lay those side by side, you ain't fucking tell no difference. You literally can't tell any difference. That shell is fucking identical. And the ones that the Koreans used is a spitting image of a Mauser. I mean, you can't hardly tell them apart. Exact same size shell goes in that son of a bitch. Millions of men came home from the war with bullet fragments in their body. You just saw it happens frequently. Stop with the nonsense about the gun. If that's the reason why you don't want to believe Tyler Robinson did it, you are wrong. Your belief is failed, and you need to now stop carrying water for this fucking absurd conspiracy. So there's two of your conspiracies blown to bits. One, the bullshit exploding thing. No way that happened in front of a whole fucking audience of live people mere feet away and sound exactly like a rifle. And then everybody turn and look back and then run forward. That didn't happen. Just didn't happen. No way did Charlie's security detail jump over that table and do anything but render first aid because there were people that could fucking see them. God damn. They weren't there alone. There were 3,000 people there. Turning Point's cameras were rolling the whole fucking time. That's just absurd. If they did that, they'd be in jail right now. There's no way an entire fucking hospital was recruited to take part in murdering Charlie Kirk. That did not happen. They did not get fake bullet fragments and they submit them to a court in a fucking murder trial with death penalty. That did not happen. Tyler Robinson's parents did not lie when they said, that's our son. That's our gun. Oh my God. He's wanting to do away with himself. We're going to get him to turn himself in. Here's our son. He did this. Here's the letter he gave us. God help us. They didn't lie about that. And if the media was lying about it, they would say, hey, our son's being framed. How's come Tyler Robinson hasn't even said, I'm being framed? How's come his defense hasn't even pulled that bullshit card? Because they know a jury's never going to buy it. Not in a million years. It's too far-fetched, guys. Too many witnesses were there. You couldn't have done anything and it not be seen by somebody. My God, man. So two of your conspiracies, I just crushed them just by scrutinizing a little bit. No fucking way. No way humanly possible. Something exploded with all those people standing right there looking directly at it. And it sounds exactly like a rifle that came from behind them, so much so that they all turn around and look that way, then run forward. That didn't happen. It just didn't happen. It's not possible. I mean, what's the other stupid ass conspiracy? So one of them is you can't believe it because a 30-06 would have took his head off. Well, you just learned that's not true. Something blew up. Well, you learned that's not true because a whole fucking hospital would have had to lie. And that didn't happen. Just didn't happen. What's the most likely thing to have happened? I tried to tell you this during the Kylie Rodney case. What's the most likely thing to have happened? You guys were talking about all the other high school kids did something to her. The other kids took her car, hid it away for 2 weeks, then brought it back and put it in the water. Or all this shit, right? But what really was the most likely thing? Well, the most likely thing was she made a wrong turn and drove straight into the fucking water. And lo and behold, thank God, one of those forestry guys had the wherewithal to remember that camera could maybe see. And so he runs over there and checks, and lo and behold, it did see it. And I tried to tell you, that's the most likely thing to have happened. And here we go again. What's the most likely thing? Most likely thing is Tyler Robinson drove there, parked his car, took 2 screws out of the stock of his gun, tucked it down his pant leg, put the metal gun down his back, walked 3 fucking blocks, up a set of steps, laid down, put 2 screws back in the stock of the gun, crawled into position, pulled the trigger, fled off the back, jumped down, got to the woods, and realized he forgot the screwdriver. So he had to leave the gun there, and that's what got him caught. That and the picture that his parents ID'd. That's the most likely thing to have happened. Tyler Robinson had motive. Trans-Tifa hated Charlie. They fucking call him enemy number 1. They threatened him constantly. They threaten every conservative speaker with violence. Every one of them. Not just Charlie. The other thing is every time we've laid eyes on Tyler Robinson, he seems to be proud of what he did. In addition to that, who celebrated Charlie's death gleefully? Trans-Tifa, far left extremist. They cheered the man's assassination. And here you've got yourself convinced it's hard to believe that one of them would have shot him. So you don't think one of those people that would celebrate his assassination would be capable of shooting him? He was shot with a 30-06. No, it will not always blow someone's head off. Yes, they do fragment. No, the hospital did not all lie and then submit fake bullet fragments to a court, a murder case with death penalty. That didn't happen. No doctors and nurses did that. God damn it, man. There's no they. You can't name they. You can't tell us who they is. You can't even tell us what they did. All you keep saying is they, and that's the end of it. Hollow end, nothing to go with it. I hope to God I changed someone's mind today. And I'm going to keep at this because this is important. I'm only doing this because I've raised some kids. As you know, we adopted another child. I want them to have a good future. I don't want the Democrats back in power. I don't want the MAGA movement severed. I don't want Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA destroyed. I want that all to flourish because it is important. Don't be like Nola, smearing your own feces all over your face and all over the walls. Stop doing that. Stop grossly exaggerating, then believing your own exaggerations. Stop lying to yourself. Because some of you do that. You literally lie to yourself, then believe your own lie, and then exaggerate your own lie. Just to take part in this fucking ridiculous conspiracy that didn't happen. The final conspiracy is someone else shot Charlie. Which that's even more ridiculous. Because if it's hard to believe that Tyler Robinson shot him, then why are you willing to believe that someone else shot him? For fuck's sakes, man. 3,000 plus eyewitnesses, hundreds of cell phones, cameras rolling, dozens of security cameras rolling, 20 or so campus police officers. Not one person saw anything other than Tyler Robinson. Not one person heard anything other than the crisp crack of a rifle come from the Losi Center building. There's not been any evidence other than evidence that solidifies Tyler Robinson's confession and his parents IDing him. We'll go through some comments here. I want to see how Well, that's a good question, Twisted. Twisted asked, I just wonder who's paying Candace and HDC to spread lies. Well, you understand these super PACs, and that's another thing why this is important. Okay. This is another thing why you should take this more serious. You shouldn't be supporting a conspiracy that you can't get any proof for. The risk, the price for what you're doing is too high. There's a price for what you're doing. You got super PACs, Twisted, that are laundering money from government programs. We've saw Nick Shirley expose a lot of that. And this is the saddest thing about that. I don't think a lot of people understand. When you've got these fraudsters that are stealing millions of dollars through Medicare, Medicaid, daycare, transportation services, whatever, they are sending most of the people here in the country that are doing this are under the control of cartels and stuff in their native country. In other words, they send these 30-something-year-old war age men to the United States, but then their mother and their little sister and their brothers back home in Nicaragua or back home in Panama or back home in Brazil, right? And they're told, if you don't go and riot and fly our flag at all these riots, we're going to beat your mom up. You know, that's what's going on. And so a lot of these immigrants that are involved in these scams, Twisted, they aren't really the ones doing the scamming. They're just the one that's going to go to jail when it all goes to hell. This money that's being funneled out of the country into these big crime organizations, they're giving kickbacks to Democrats with that money. They're laundering it and putting it right in the pockets of Democrats. So if you want to know who would be paying heavy duty country, the same people that pay Antifa to show up at a riot. That's who. And believe me, this ain't a rumor. It's going to be proven. It's the only thing really that makes sense, because if you go look at his channel, he has posted the most absurd, ridiculous, far-fetched conspiracies, one after another, after another, after another, after another, nonstop. And there's no way Candace Owens believes Erica Kirk did anything to her husband. Neither does Heavy Duty Country. He doesn't believe that. You guys actually think Charlie, somebody who was so in tune with his destiny, so in touch with his reality, so dedicated to his cause, wouldn't have known who he was marrying, for fuck's sakes? They don't believe that she did that. They just say it. They don't believe it because it's impossible. No. Now, the last conspiracy I'll touch on here, hit a few more comments. Okay. Here's the other conspiracy, the one of the they conspiracies. Yeah, they don't, man. Some of these people are just stupid, girl. Exactly. Pakistani Muslims, by large, push the Kirk conspiracies. There's also bots. If you go into the comment sections in YouTube, go to Heavy Duty Country's last conspiracy video and just ponder around at the comments in there. They're single sentence comments by Johnny Rocket Starlight and Cowboy Satellite Man and Rocket Cowboy. I mean, it's just generic shit. You click on their profile, they have no content, and it's a month old. And they're the ones that are starting these feuds, and you guys are buying it. Stop it. Stop letting these people feed your brain with this shit. I'm not blaming you for believing it. I'm really not. I kind of want to belittle you because it's so far-fetched. But understand, I've just proven it all wrong. So if you continue to support that, you're just being willfully stupid. And you're helping the Democrats win. What you're doing. Yeah, good comment, Bobby. Absolutely. Gotta let the hate out. Yeah, that's one of fucking pathetic piece of shit sock account. The hate, yeah. Yeah, there's just so much hate on this channel. It's just everywhere, isn't it? That's all I ever did on this channel was just slander people, slander innocent people and shit. Ain't that right, Cash? That's all that ever happened here. What no truth ever told. Why the fuck you call me crying then? Don't make me post that video, Cashville, because I will. And I'm telling you, it's embarrassing. Dude, you were slobbering like a baby. I mean, you don't want people seeing that. Come on, dude. You don't. And I'm telling you, I'm a man of my word, but there's a limit. There's a fucking limit. And if I haven't bothered you at all, and for you to start running your fucking mouth on me and lying to do it, I can't guarantee you I won't. So if you want everybody to see you snotting and slobbering because your fat ass might have to go get a job, then you'll learn to shut your fucking mouth. Keep my name out of your mouth. Just keep my name out of your fucking mouth. You are not somebody I would ever associate with. You are untrustworthy, zero integrity, just a blob. There's nothing. You have no substance. You don't have any convictions. You don't really believe in anything. You literally rag on people for doing exactly what you do yourself, which makes you a narcissist. That's one thing I won't do is criticize somebody for something I do myself. Oh, you can bet your ass they'd like to take him out. You know it. Yeah, he really does. I've sent him some money to his security. I just feel like that's some money well spent. I don't know if any of you caught the much of the live stream yesterday that Cashville, for some reason hit his head and started to tell a lie that it was about Upchurch and hate when there wasn't nothing to do with him. But my wife's daughter passed away suddenly. Man, what a blow. They were really, really close, and I really liked her. We had a great relationship with her, and she worked for us for quite a while and then started doing her own thing. She ended up getting her antique store, and we've had a lot of our stuff in that store, to be sold. And man, she got sick and died just like that. And man, it was just a shock, coming right on the heels of my brother. And I'll tell you, that's the one that really, because my brother had the exact same cancer I got, and it killed him in 30 days. But his was already tumored in the back of his brainstem before it was diagnosed. I got lucky and got mine diagnosed before any of that could happen. But yeah, white blood cell cancer. No joke, man. Anyway, where was I? There's things going on that I don't know. Well, I suppose there is. Fucking stupid. Man, that's some brilliance right there. Hey, everybody. There's things going on that you don't know. That's some real fucking wisdom. So Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ. I don't know what the hell these people. Yeah, he didn't mean what he clearly said. I know. Of course not. Well, what does a backstabbing, sniveling, gutless, integraless person say? Well, they'll never own anything. Well, there's nothing but hate over there. Just spreading hate. He's obsessed with Upchurch. Yeah, PBR just did a video today back on that Upchurch. Upchurch wasn't even mentioned. Wasn't even mentioned. Just Cashville blood and fucking fat blubber. So anyway, the last conspiracy that I kind of want to touch on is probably the dumbest yet. Okay. Now I want to ask you something. Let's get real serious here. Let's say you are part of a sophisticated assassination apparatus, and they've recruited you to be part of that because you work with Bill Johnson. Okay. You work with him every day. You and 3 other guys, you work with Bill Johnson every single day, and you've been recruited into a sophisticated assassination apparatus to take Bill Johnson out. You're with him every day. So taking him out would be quite easy, right? You could just choke him out in the car one day when you're all in the carpool going to work, and then tell everybody he quit breathing. You don't know what happened. You could slip him one of them pills that makes you have a heart attack. You could shoot him right between the eyes in his hotel room bed. And then all say, man, we woke up, we heard a gunshot. Oh my God, Charlie's been shot. You could, let's see. There's so many ways that you could kill Bill Johnson, right? And you're part of this sophisticated assassination apparatus that has 2 theys working for it. So there's not just one they, there's actually 2 theys working for this thing. You're with Bill Johnson every day, man. So you just got to pick a time and do it, right? And out of all the places you could kill Bill Johnson and not have to recruit nobody, you wouldn't have to get no exploding devices, you wouldn't have to beg the hospital to lie for you, you wouldn't have to make up a fake gun, you wouldn't have to make any fake videos, you wouldn't have to worry about any of those meddling YouTubers messing it up, right? You just take Bill Johnson out in the dark of night where there's not a single person in sight. But instead of doing that, you wait till Bill Johnson's going to speak in front of 3,000 fucking people. You wait until your target is in front of 3,000 eyewitnesses, countless cell phone cameras, countless security cameras, countless eyewitnesses and ears. So instead of doing it the easy way and not having any witnesses to worry about, you do it publicly, and a bunch of meddling YouTubers find you out. I mean, you guys realize how absurd that notion is, that Charlie's own people would attempt to kill him in front of a live audience and cameras and a live stream and shit when they could have killed him along the road on the way there. I mean, come on, guys. you got to get a grip. Please. Just start scrutinizing some of this shit. Just you got to try to scrutinize some of this shit. Oh, yeah. See, here we got more immaturity. Candace who? Well, you can just go ahead and go back where you came from. Just the children, man. You know, you're the type of person, I hope your life is shit. I hope your rent's 3 times as much as it is now, six years from now. I hope the Democrats are back in power and your life's a living shithole for the rest of your time on this earth. Because you don't have sense enough to know when to take one single thing in your life halfway fucking serious. Well, you could hit the microphone by the blue button and ask questions, but what if the microphone blew up? Then what? Stupid as ass. That's the dumbest. You know, these idiots base that on. Do you know what they base that theory on? The exploding microphone nonsense. It's just literally fucking impossible. I mean, a sophisticated assassination apparatus is going to use some unconventional exploding thing that has no guarantee of working in front of a bunch of people and cameras. No one would be that risky. I mean, you have no guarantee an exploding thing will kill somebody. It might just injure them. Explosions are kind of weird. There's no guarantee it's going to kill them. Shooting somebody in the neck with a long rifle, yeah, that'll sever their spine. They're going, man. They're done. I mean, you guys got to apply some common sense to the stuff you trick yourself into believing. Oh, my God, man. And it's all that. Well, why wasn't it all this when Charlie was alive, you stupid bastard? Unfucking believable. I can't believe you're so small-minded that some stupid girl who doesn't have any more access to information than you do can tell you some far-fetched shit without a sliver of evidence and you just believe it wholeheartedly. I know you're going to live a life of poverty. That's the sad part. You're going to be like Nola. You're never going to have anything. You're going to be dirt poor your whole fucking life. Never going to have anything, never going to accomplish anything because you let people put bullshit in your head and you're a gullible dipshit. You don't know when to turn your bullshit meter on. Turning Point USA is made up of a bunch of very fine people that Charlie Kirk, one of the best human beings to ever join the MAGA movement, he handpicked every one of those employees. And he handpicked his wife. And I know damn good and well he has a great judge of character. And I know damn well and good Turning Point USA is a force for good, standing in the way of this fucking indoctrination the extreme left is doing to our youth on every college campus. And I don't give a rat's fucking potato if they like Israel or don't like Israel. It makes no goddamn difference to me one way or the other. At all. Because that doesn't have any effect on your life at all. Not one bit. Nothing Israel does will have any effect on your life. What Turning Point USA does, what the Democrat Party does, certainly will. But nothing about Israel is ever going to have one single change, add anything, take anything away from your human experience. So why do you slobber on about it? It's like slobbering about slavery that happened 400 years ago. You're just wasting energy. I know goddamn well those are good people, and I know what they're doing is needed. We need that youth vote. those young folks need a opposing voice on those campuses. And if a guy like Charlie Kirk's not out there because somebody shot him, you need to make sure that person that shot him fries. Not fucking all this bullshit. Oh, blowing up device. Donald Duck, Scooby Doo, Zionist. Nobody gives a god. I mean, could you imagine being this stupid? I mean, could you imagine being as stupid as that son of a bitch right there? Candace who? God damn. Just act like a fucking toddler. Simpletons. That's exactly right. Simpletons. Exactly what he said, word for word. I got the video if you want to hear it again. And he's going to be a little coward dick and try to claim that's not what he said. Cashville, shut your fucking mouth. I'm not going to respond to anything you say. I'm going to go right back to ignoring you. I won't watch anything you produce. I don't want to hear anything you have to say. You'll be wasting your time. I am going to tell you this. You put my name in your mouth one more time, and everybody's going to see a video of you bawling like a fucking baby with snot coming out your nose because Ryan stopped your royalties. They're also going to see all the trash shit you said about Ryan, all the trash shit you said about everybody else. Just get my name out of your mouth. Leave me alone. Don't care what you got to say. You're a liar, a backstabber, untrustworthy, two-faced piece of shit that nobody should ever trust. All right, well, I'm going to get off of here. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. You know, sorry you got to watch some really retarded, insane people smear poop everywhere. You know, smear feces all over the little, you know, cell door window and smear feces all over their own face and stuff. But, you know, these mentally insane people, you got to deal with them every now and then. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Catch you on the next one.